Good afternoon, friends. It is Coach Matt with our Monday workout. Today is Memorial Day, or this Monday is Memorial Day, and we're going to do our traditional Murph Memorial Day workout. We do this twice a year on Memorial Day and Thanksgiving. This is a gym tradition. It's a fantastic body weight benchmark. It's a wonderful way to remember a fallen hero, and it's also just a fantastic workout no matter what you do. So I'll give you a couple of options if the initial offering looks a little bit too much. Okay, so before we get started, let's do our warm-up for Murph. Excuse me, we're gonna go 2 rounds through jog, or if you are medically prohibited from jogging, then I want you to choose your cardio of choice, whether it's rowing, biking, ski erg, etc. Go 400 meters on the first round and 200 meters on the second round. Then we're gonna do some pike work. So we're gonna do some shoulder pressing work from the pike position, and we're doing shoulder blade scapular raises from this pike position, and then we're going to do shoulder taps from the pike position. Okay, so we're practicing warming up the shoulder blades in that up down direction with pressure from the hands. Next we're going to do is down dog to lizard steps. Okay, so I'll start in again that down dog position, and then I'm going to sweep forward with one leg back to my down dog or pike position, other leg. All right, 4 reps on each side, shrugging back and forth between those two. Next, we're gonna do the hanging versions of some of those things. So kips and scap pull-ups. So from the hanging position, now we're working tension on the hands instead of pressure. Forward, reverse for the kips, up and down for the scap pull-ups. These are all very standard, very beneficial shoulder warm-up exercises that we do to prepare the shoulder joint, prepare the muscles surrounding the joint to sustain 100 pull-ups, right? Or if we do a different exercise, and especially with the vest, we want to make sure that our shoulder muscles and our positions that we're going to use in the workout are very, very well prepped before we launch into it. Next one we'll do is some good morning squats. So good morning squat, I'll take my squat with stance, hips go back, but my knees stay bent. I'm sorry, my knees stay almost straight. And then when I've gotten to a really good stretch position, like a Romanian deadlift position, I'll sit my hips down to the bottom of the squat and then stand tall. And if you would like to hold, say, a light kettlebell in your hand, at your chest while you do this, that is good too. It'll help you get a little bit better stretch with that additional resistance, right? So good morning squats for 8 reps. And then after we're done with those rounds, we'll set up and test the workout elements, and feel free to throw stuff in as you go through it. So the warm-up is the most complicated part of this whole workout. The rest of it is just doing the work. All right, so Murph is a 1,600 meter run or 1 mile run, followed by 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and follow up all of that with a final 1 mile run. So what's negotiable on Murph? Lots of things. The volume, the duration, the loading, the movement selection, all of those things are negotiable depending on what level you are at and what you want to get out of this workout. So be advised that the full Murph as prescribed can take 45, 55 minutes. And that's for a competent individual who has the ability to do all of those exercises as prescribed, okay? So keep that in mind, that what we really are looking for is some cardio in the 8 to 10 minute range, some body weight pulling exercise, which could be kipping pull-up, it could be butterfly pull-up, it could be a strict pull-up on a band, it could be a ring row. If we're not doing body weight, we could do some type of other rowing exercise where we want to get some pulling in. And then the opposite is pushing, right? So push-ups of all different shapes and sizes, either on the ground with the vest, adjustable pull-up bar attached to the rig, etc. And then the final one is air squat, right? Or body weight squatting exercise, right? So when we do all these exercises, we want to make sure whatever you select, that you are doing the appropriate range of motion for that exercise, and that we don't select one that is so difficult that you are immediately reduced to doing singles on that exercise. Now I know for 100 reps of pull-ups, yeah, eventually by the end you're probably going to do a handful of singles or maybe like 2s and 3s, and that's okay for the end. But in the beginning of the workout, you should be able to swiftly move through multiple sets of whatever your rep scheme is. A lot of people like 5, 10, 15, that's kind of the basic one. Some people like 4, 8, 12, and then you would do a few extra at the end to get to the total numbers. 3, 6, 9, same thing, a few extra at the end to get to the total numbers. But any of those are fine rep schemes, and you should not have to break them up too much in the beginning of the workout at least, all right? So for the rep the range of motion for our pull-ups. We want to make sure whatever we are doing that my elbows are straight and my ears are between my arms at the bottom, and that at the top, that my chin is over the top of the bar, right? Those are my range of motion standards on the pull-up, period, okay? So in other words, if you get halfway through and it's just your nose getting over the bar, then you need to make the integrity decision of, I'm going to adjust my resistance level so that I can achieve the proper range of motion, right? You will get a better workout out of it. And in my mind, if I was going to honor a fallen hero, I would not do it by doing substandard range of motion and calling it good, okay? That just feels wrong to me. And so that is a hallmark of our benchmark workouts, that the movements are relatively simple, but holding yourself to a higher standard is really the challenge on these ones, right? So elbows straight at the bottom of the pull-up, chin minimum above the bar at the top of the pull-up, no matter what your resistance level is. And then for ring rows, it's basically just arms straight until your wrists touch your rib cage. And there's several other different ones you can try, but that is the basic one for our pulling. Then for pushing, similarly here, is like at the top of the push-up, I want my elbows straight. So not mostly straight and not like, you know, I think I'm straight, or I'm going really fast. I'm going fast enough that no one can tell if they got straight or not, but actually locking out my elbows at the top of the push-up, and then chin, chest, and thighs all touch the ground at the same time, or if you're wearing your vest touches the ground, and then extend up to full extension of the arms, okay? So that's another one where a lot of times we'll get somebody doing really fast reps and they're at least locking out at the top but not touching the ground at the bottom, or vice versa, is they lock out, or they touch the ground at the bottom, but they don't lock out their arms at the top so they can do their reps really fast, right? And usually the way this manifests itself is I'll see somebody doing like lots and lots and lots of these, and then when they get tired, they go all the way up to the top, and then they rest, right? So see if you can pick that out while we're doing Murph this time. And if you do that, if you ever do that and you do it subconsciously and you catch yourself stopping at the top right before you rest, just think about that. Of like, oh, this is what the real top of the push-up should feel like. All right, last one is air squats. So same thing. If there is no medical reason why you should not drop your hips below the tops of your knees, and it's just a choice that you're making because it's easier to not go squat all the way to the bottom, then today should be the day that you choose to do the proper and complete range of motion on our squats, right? So the crease of my hips should go below the top of my knee with my heels flat on the ground and a good back position. My lumbar arch is maintained, and then at the top, knees straight, shoulders directly over the hips, over the knees, over the ankles. So similar thing on the squats that we see on the push-ups is a lot of times we'll get like I'm leaning really far forward, so I feel like I'm going way far down because I'm close to the ground, but actually my hips are still above my knees. I did not achieve full depth on the squat, and the opposite is like I go all the way down, but I stand up and my shoulders are forward of my hips, and I kind of just do this rocking motion back and forth, and I never get to that full extended position of my hips and knees at the top of the squat, right? So again, bottom of the squat is what it is, top of the squat is what it is. Try to hit both of those every single rep for the entire workout, right? Even if that makes it harder, even if that makes it take longer, it's worth it to do it right, okay? And that is our workout for today. Your choice on the vest or not. I would say if you're doing the vest, do the second round of the warm-up with the vest just so that your legs and your arms and everything get a little bit of exposure to that additional weight. Make sure you test out all the workout elements with the vest on if you're going to use it, and just be responsible with the vest, okay? So what we don't want is for somebody who can do the workout as prescribed to put on a vest and then do substandard range of motion for all the exercises because they have the extra weight on their shoulders, okay? That's it for today. Enjoy Murph, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday.